the big three. Nigga, it's just big me. Nigga, boom. What? I'm really like that. And your best work is a light pack. Nigga, Prince outlived Mike Jack. Nigga, boom.
Hey, what's up, y'all? What's going on, my Richie Richites? My Richie Rich fam. What's going on, everybody? Back on the ones and twos, man. I'm at the house for a day. Taking it easy. Let me see. Cut the light on. There we go. Oh, what's up, everybody? Yo, I want to talk about something that I had a couple conversations with some guys today. You know, trucker talk, I guess. And one of the guys was telling me about the camera system in his truck. He worked for Wilson. Wilson is a prime affiliate company. And basically, he was saying that they convinced him to turn his old truck in. He was at the end of his lease with his older truck. It had about another year and a half on it. And they bribed him with a brand new 2024 Freightliner Cascadia, right? So he's like, yeah, man, you know, let me get this new truck with all the bells and whistles, right? Unbeknownst to him, they put a camera in his truck. And I think the camera is I think he said Saramosa or something, or Sam Rosa or something like that. But the camera has artificial intelligence. And he said today that he drove and he had picked up his cell phone to start the podcast he listens to. And the camera spoke to him and said something like distracted driving detected. And not even 2 minutes later, he got a call from his fleet manager. Fleet manager said, we have to bring you back in and talk to you. So they routed him back to the yard. And before he got to the yard, he went to a stop sign, and I guess he rolled it. And when he rolled it, the camera spoke again and said, rolling stop. So he got back to the yard. Fleet manager brought him inside the room, and they gave him a counseling and threatened his job. Now, this guy's been working there at Wilson for 3 years, right? No lates, on-time delivery, no issues at all. And all of a sudden, the camera poses an issue. He said that the fleet manager called him immediately and pretty much read him the riot act when he got to the yard and threatened his job and said, this can get ugly, and gave him a first and final warning. I'm going to say this, right? I don't like the cameras in the truck. I can understand the camera looking out, you know, the window, you know, but I don't like the micromanaging. I don't like it. You know, somebody asked me, right? We were talking, and he was saying, what is the difference between a prisoner and a truck driver? Well, the difference is the prisoner has rights and advocacy groups who will speak up and not allow that shit to go down. Truckers have nobody. Nobody's saying, yo, that's a privacy issue. Nobody's saying, hey, yo, that's wrong, you know? Nobody's speaking up, but prisoners sue all day in court, and they got rights, but truckers do not. And they got a 6x9. And I guess we got a, 3x6? You know, I don't like it. And I knew this was going to happen. If you guys remember some of my older Richie Richites remember from about a year or two ago, I made a video about artificial intelligence in trucking. And a couple people were like, yo, Rich, that's not going to happen, man. You know, they always going to need truck drivers, man. You know, listen, this is just phase one of their master plan to, you know, phase one. I mean, it's trucking has turned into like a elementary school theme. Now, listen, some of you guys are going to say, well, you shouldn't be on the phone while you're driving. And I get that. You shouldn't be texting and driving, okay? But, you know, the micromanaging that's coming along with these camera systems, bro, it's like the freedom and the independence you had when you drove a truck is the reason why you drive a truck. You know, I think one of the appealing things to me about driving the truck, right, is that I didn't have anybody looking over my shoulder. I didn't have anybody looking over my shoulder, micromanaging me. I had total freedom to do what I want. And see, here's the problem I have, right? Truck drivers make mistakes out here on the road. And a lot of times you can catch your mistake. Either you turn down a wrong street, or you turn down a cul-de-sac, or you do something that is against policy or procedure or anything. It happens. But instead of you being able to kind of catch your mistake and fix your mistake by yourself and get out of it, now you have this camera who's micromanaging you and is going to tell on you. And that's bullshit. Listen, when I was a rookie driver, right, there's been times I made a wrong turn. I ended up driving down a one-way street. I never forget one time as a rookie driver, I missed a turn going into a shipper receiver, and I found myself in an apartment complex parking lot. And by the grace of God, I didn't hit nothing. I was driving so smoothly through the parking lot, you know. But now, if you go in those kind of situations, the camera's going to tell on you, and then you're going to be, you can be losing your job. I mean, they're putting this stuff on people's driver reports, you know. And listen, you can argue you're not supposed to text and drive, right? But if you're starting your shuffle music, or you're flipping through a podcast by pushing a button, you know, I don't think that's distracted driving. I don't. There's guys out here like me and countless other people who've been driving for many, many years. And we did some things that we're not proud of. We have. But we always corrected it, and was always to get out of it. I mean, when you're a new truck driver, there's going to be so much shit that you can, that you get out of. I made a wrong turn down a residential street. Or, I missed a turn, hit the brakes. Or even, here's the God all. I did a U-turn, okay, where I wasn't supposed to. But I was able to get out of it because it worked. There's no such thing as a perfect truck driver out here. And I think I've been preaching that shit for a long time. And some of you guys may agree with me and some of you won't. But there's no such thing as a perfect truck driver. We all fuck up out here. And now what we have is an extra person on the truck stopping that independence that we used to have, that total freedom we used to have. I do not like the camera systems in the truck, especially with the artificial intelligence. Okay? Here's a guy who, I don't want to tell all his business, but I'll say this because I'm not saying any names. But, he has a family of 3. His wife just recently lost her job. He's trying to work as hard as he can, doing a lease purchase. And now he has to worry about the next time he do something, is he going to be fired for it? I wasn't going to do a review on Wilson Logistics, but I'm going to talk about them. My next video in my series of companies I used to work for. Now I hear that Prime is getting cameras in their trucks, and it's only a matter of time before they put it in all their trucks. They will eventually. I give them 2 years, okay? And pretty soon, y'all, cameras in trucks are going to be a thing of normal, and that sucks. That just takes away the total independence and freedom of being left the fuck alone, okay? There's situations where you don't even talk to the dispatcher, man. You just get your load and you go about your fucking business. I like this famous quote that I got from the movie The Departed. And the quote was, I treat supervisors like mushrooms. I feed them shit and I keep them in the dark. Okay? That's why I kind of stuck in trucking for so long, because I really didn't have to talk to the prick who's 1,000 miles away in the office, talk to him about decisions I'm making out here in the world. But unfortunately, y'all, it's coming time, man, where we're all getting fucked, So yeah, that's why I'm making this video tonight. That's why I didn't start my other series of companies I used to work for, because that kind of bothered me. A lot of people get screwed. Just people make mistakes. It's just trucking. Sometimes we laugh at other people's expenses. What's the channel? Bonehead Truckers. We have a good chuckle here and there when Swift fucks around and tops a trailer, or you see a driver doing some shit he ain't supposed to. But now we got a surveillance camera system on us that if you do something questionable, it's going to report you back to them, and then it's just a form of micromanagement to get rid of you, you know? And it just adds on to the high turnover in trucking. You know, I said to somebody, right? And I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna say it again. You know, trucking is the most stable, unstable job I ever had. It is. You know, it's stable that I can always find a job to work, but it's unstable because all the shit they change in this industry that you're always going through. That's what makes this shit unstable. You know, yeah, I can find a job. Yeah, I can. But is it worth the headaches? You know, is it worth, paying the high lease, or is it worth dealing with the dispatchers or the other, all kind of bullshit. So now we have another tool, And I was watching another YouTuber's channel, right? He goes by Tim Travels. I watch him a lot. And he was saying that Prime is thinking about putting sensors in the sleeper berth to know if you're in the sleeper berth sleeping. This form of micromanaging has got out of fucking hand. I mean, what the hell? When I got into trucking years ago, right? It was literally build a fun career, have fun, see the country, make some money. First it was see the country, and money was like second or third on that list. You know what I mean? It was like, second career for retirees, see the country, see the world, have the freedom to be your own boss. Now we got these fucking cameras in our trucks and sensors. And companies like to argue and say, well, we don't have the volume on, or we can't listen to what you're doing, or see what you're doing. Listen, 15 years ago when I used to work as a law enforcement officer in Philly, and I went down to have a lunch or hang out with my buddy who worked for the SEPTA. That's the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transit Authority, the subway system and trolley system in Philadelphia. And we were down there, and he says, hey, you want to see something? And I said, yeah. He pulls up a camera of a bus driver who parks on Columbus Ave. SEPTA bus drivers have to park at certain areas for breaks. And this guy used to park on Market Street and Columbus Boulevard. That's down by the water, down by the piers in Philadelphia. And his girl or whoever he's dealing with used to bring him lunch. And they used to fuck in the back of the bus. And it was almost like clockwork, man. And this is 2, 3 in the morning on a Monday. And he says, look at this. And they're going at it. And the volume is on and the camera's rolling live. And I'm like, are you going to report this guy? Yeah, eventually. This is back 15 years ago. Nobody gave a fuck. These days, they probably would report, dude. He probably loses his job. But like clockwork, she used to bring in some lunch and then bring in some trim. But we used to watch that shit, right? Him, Winkenhagen Avenue in Philly, North Philly, where they used to park up there on 52nd and Winkenhagen. It's these cameras can record activity live. They can. Okay, I don't give a shit what they say. That it's turned off. 15 years ago, they were doing this shit. Now, can you imagine you're back there with your wife and the truck is rocking, and artificial intelligence picked that shit up, and next thing you know, they're in the office looking at you and your wife fuck, or listening to your wife fuck. I don't care if you cover the camera up. You can't cover the sound. Okay. So I don't know. This is a privacy thing to me. And there are privacy attorneys out here. And I'm shocked that nobody has brought a class action lawsuit against every company that's doing it. And you know what? I understand they're saying insurance reasons and this and that and the fourth, but that's bullshit. Okay? That's bullshit. So, truthfully, if they wanted cameras on the truck, they could mount that shit right on the bumper, or where the black box is at on the hood or something. Somewhere where you can actually catch traffic shit. Not inside the driver's face, Ugh. No advocacy for us, y'all. So yeah, that just made me upset, talking to dude because he's stressed out. He had a bad weekend, and I guess I'm having a time myself. I do got an announcement to make, but I'll make it when I'm ready. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Right now I'm just going to concentrate on things I was going to say about trucking. But I am working, and I will get into it later. There was a guy who kept making a comment, asking me, and listen, dude, I'll tell you when I'm ready. Okay, this is a channel for my therapy to release things when I want to, not when you say to. So please respect that, please. But prisoners and truckers, what are the difference? Well, one of them got rights, and the other one does not. Anyway, before I get off this thing, I want to upload a video of Walmart, right? I'm not bragging on Walmart or anything, but the video I'm about to upload shows the type of people that work for Walmart and how they're scared to think independently. How they don't have any sense. They target people who don't have common fucking sense. Do you know what I mean? That are, corporate first, fuck everybody else. And this leads me to a little insight because I'm still having little flashbacks about when I went through the onboarding process with Walmart and how I was coming across the tarmac where all the trailers are at, and the speed limit was 10 miles an hour on the yard. And I got the truck up to about 11, 12 miles an hour. And instead of the trainer or instructor saying, hey, slow down a little bit, this motherfucker reaches up for the camera and pushes the camera. And I looked at him like, man, I was going to give him a right hook from hell. Fucking old bastard. But see, that's the people they employ, and that's my point. They think of the corporation before they think of people. Okay? It wouldn't have been shit for him to say, hey man, go ahead and slow down a little bit. Right? Remember the speed's 10 miles an hour. Instead, this fucker wants to pushes the camera inside the damn cab of the truck. What was the purpose of that? And that just shows me that if I were to work for Walmart, people would be like spying on me. You know what I mean? And they would tell on me. And that would cause a hostile work environment. But I guess people sell people out for money, right? So I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm home for a day or two, and I'm back to work. Trying to make $1, hopefully no cents. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my little camera rant. I'm just pissed about that because I know that's where it's going, and that just takes away from the independent and freedom of, be able to chill, without have somebody up your ass. If you wanted somebody to micromanage you could have stayed in the military or stayed police, So I don't know, guys. Tell me what you think. Peace and love. Later.
We cannot let no one in or out. Nobody come in.
Bro, let them in. Have a baby. Can y'all just let them in, bro? They have a baby.
They said no one out and no one in. Let me tell my man. They said coming in. They can't do nothing. The lights gonna go off. Everything.